Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4 and we are building a brand new build. This time we are creating a family home in the new world of Gibbi Point, and we are doing this on a 30 by 20 lot in the Jellyfish Junction neighbourhood, which is kind of like the downtown kind of area of this map, I guess is probably the way you would describe it. It's kind of, it looks like it has some commercial buildings in it, and yeah, I just thought this would be a really nice place for a bit of a suburban-y kind of house in there. So yeah, that's definitely what we are doing today. As you can see, I have already done the shell and I've kind of roughly worked out the floor plan. I have to be honest, this is my second attempt at doing this build. The roofing of the first one just didn't sit right. It just was all a little bit clunky and a little bit weird. So I kind of played around with it, worked out what I really wanted, and basically deleted the file and started again in there. And so yeah, if it looks like I know what I'm doing, it's kind of because I do. Which, yeah, I mean, this is me, so when do I ever know what I'm doing? Anyhow, here we go into there. So yeah, there is a lot of roof pieces that make up this build. It's, yeah, very roof heavy into there, but we turn this into a 3-bedroom, 2 full bathrooms, and then like a half bath come kind of laundry, I think, downstairs. So yeah, using quite a few of the new pieces in here. So whereas the last build I did, which I'll put a card up in the corner for you if you hadn't checked that one out, definitely do, was kind of all very dark woods. It was all very sort of really dark furniture, things like that. This one I wanted to do something a little bit different, and so I've kind of gone with this like lightly blue stone in the bottom, and then with the blue sort of wood texture on the upper floors and like the roofs and stuff. I just thought that was a really nice contrast, and it was so completely different to last week's build that I think the two side by side actually look really well together. At least that's my opinion. Let me know down in the comments what you think into here as well. Now, we do use a few of the new items in this build, which I really wanted to put in, so I have used the new gym set. Well, I say gym set, it's really just the free weights and the bicycle, which finally we have a few more items for in here. I feel like we've all been crying out for more fitness stuff for ages, and yeah, we finally have that in game. So yeah, putting on my normal standard go-to pieces on the roof. So we have a fireplace in what turns out to be the living room. So obviously that has a chimney. I love the new flagpole sort of like roof decoration thing, and it also comes in so many different colours compared to the sort of ones we've got from one of the other packs, the name of which has just gone straight out of my head, which I normally place on a lot of my roofs. I feel like it's a very American thing to have flags up. It's not something we tend to do until like 6 months ago here in the UK. But yeah, I really like that sort of feature of putting them up onto the roofs into here, and also the TV kind of radio dish antenna thing. It doesn't really do anything, but it kind of gives you the illusion that they have sort of satellite TV, that sort of thing in there. And now back working on the exterior of this. So we've got all of the windows in. We have not finished with that, but I really wanted to get this sort of landscaping sort of done. So we don't really have much of a back garden. You sort of see where I moved the lot around, or moved the house on the lot. This is actually only a 30 by 20, so it's quite a kind of narrow sort of lot, and obviously some of it's taken up with like the end sort of pieces, so we really had to use like the sides a little bit more, which is why this build is off center. It just gave me this little bit of space in here to get this little place in. Now I didn't create one of these myself, I basically used one of the debug sort of already made pre-built ones in there. It's just got a little bit of a slide and then some of the climbing sort of like activities that they can do up on the side of them. So yeah, but this is designed for a family of 4, so we have a toddler and a child into there, and then obviously the 2 parents as well. So I kind of was future-proofing this, I think, with the like the kids activity of like the climb frame and stuff. I don't actually believe the toddler can use it. I didn't attempt the slide. I feel like they can, if they're carried up there, they can like use some of the items, but I didn't really playtest any of that because I just use the child to playtest it into there and make sure that she doesn't go down the slide into any plants or anything like that into there, which you'll see me do in just a second. But yeah, because we are in autumn, all of the trees are nicely kind of coloured for us. We've got the reds, the yellows. It does mean that some of the plants that I'm going to place here look a little bit bedraggled and a little bit faded. That's just simply because of the time of the year that I'm building this into there. But yeah, I like how this lot all turned out in the end. I was sort of struggling because I was using predominantly sort of this world and like the plants from this world, and I'm trying to limit myself to those. We do tend to actually go a little bit over because there's not that many, which I feel like we've had so many plants from other packs, especially like debug planting, that I'm maybe a bit spoiled by it. But this pack came with lots of plants that were already in the game, sort of things. So they're like just recolors and reskins of them, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, it is what it is into there. So yeah, that I think is the last of the plant section all done. We've just got this little one here at the front there, which just gives a nice sort of shaded area and a little bit of privacy, I think, because this build does feel very open. It kind of is slap bang in the middle, with like footpaths and stuff, which, you know, that's just where they wanted. I feel like this was also supposed to be a slightly bigger lot. If you actually look at the terrain paint on outside the world, or outside the lot, sorry, it's slightly bigger, and I feel like they maybe were hoping to get like a 30 by 40 in here, but decided against it in the end. I don't really know why, because hey, bigger lots, but it is what it is into there. So now you can see I'm putting in the shutters. We have gone for the blue ones on the ground floor, but on the upper floors we've gone for a white variant. It's just that nice little contrast into there as well. And then we're using the drain pipes in here just to add another little feature and little decoration, just to make this feel a little bit more realistic. And I feel like this kind of world would have rain quite a lot. I haven't really played around with it in terms of like gameplay. I've kind of been focusing more on sort of building and doing different things. I have so many ideas and so many builds that I've started, but I just don't end up finishing them. So I was going to do a playground and then like an adventure kind of activity sort of centre. In the end, I didn't. I went back to doing another house. I don't know whether it's just me. I struggle to do community lots, and I feel like parks and things like that and playgrounds kind of count as that. So yeah, it's something I really want to do more on and sort of focus on a little bit more, but I struggled with them, so I abandoned those and came back to what I know best in here. And yeah, I hope you like the results of it. If you do, give this video a big thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my channel. Yeah, it would all mean so very, very much to me. But now we're going to come in and furnish the sort of front porch and then the interior in here. So I really wanted some of these plants to be a little bit bulkier and a little bit bigger than what they actually are. So I've kind of doubled them up a little bit in there, you would have noticed. And we get a chest set out the front here. I don't necessarily know if this is a thing. I feel like I've seen lots of people and lots of houses kind of have like them on their front porch. I don't know, I feel like they would just get stolen, to be honest, but hey, this is The Sims. I do put a burglar alarm into here. So now we're going to work on the interior of here. So we have 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom downstairs, which is the ones on the right hand side as you're looking in here, which has a sort of big ensuite bathroom, and then you have the 2 kids' bedrooms and the another little bathroom upstairs, and then there's that sort of little half bath just by the front door in there, which I actually kind of put in the laundry room in as well for. So we kind of have that coming in here, and I really wanted to bring the blue sort of theme around into here as well. So we get to that whole sort of blue wall, and I think we do it up on the stairs as well. It just gives that really nice sort of blue texture kind of feel to all of this. This sort of entranceway does feel really, really big. I do kind of clutter it up a little bit and make it feel a little bit smaller, but yeah, it's one of those things into there. And then we're definitely going for a beige kind of look. I do end up changing the stairs to a white version, which you're going to see here. I have a little bit of a issue. This is gorgeous. That is the whitest version of it. There is not a plain white in here, and I don't know why, and it throws me. And you're gonna see I come back to this and I'm like, I really, really want it, but I'm gonna have to get rid of it. It doesn't work, it doesn't fit, yada yada yada. In the end I do keep it, and we kind of mix the furniture in with like this kind of browny creamy kind of beige colour and white. We also don't have a bookshelf. What? When do we not get a bookshelf with a pack? Anyway, we end up going with this white one. And you can see here, I'm having kittens because there is not a white version, and it just doesn't fit, and it just doesn't look right in my head. And yeah, I go round and round and round and have a small little crisis when it comes to that. But we get there in the end, and I think the colour scheme all works eventually together in there, using sort of blue as that sort of secondary colour into here. But this is the living room in here, so with that fireplace coming in there, it's sort of the full width of the house. I cannot wait to actually get the curtain rail that goes with these curtains that we use. It just does not make sense of why we didn't get one. I don't know when it's actually going to turn up, but hey. I've tried my best to sort of use as many new items as I possibly could from this pack. One thing I didn't use is the sofa. One thing I absolutely hate, and I will say this now, if you're going to give me a sofa, give me a 3, a 2 and a 1. Like, I maybe I can get away with an armchair because that can be like a feature piece, but make sure I have a full set of a 2 and a 3. It just didn't fit, and it just didn't look right, and so yeah, I ended up going for the book neck ones, which you all know I love, and in this colour it works perfectly with the colour scheme in here. But we do manage to get in the new coffee table and the sort of hallway table, the TV console sort of table that I use it for more than anything. You will notice I have placed a infant mat on the floor. I get rid of that when I realise that the child is actually a toddler. Yeah. It's one of those items where I often get confused between toddlers and infants still. It happens, I got it into there. But yeah, so that is kind of like the living area done, and I'm left with this big space. And I'm like, we have a bar in here. The shuffling and the rearranging I had to do to try and get this to fit, because as you can notice right now it does not fit. And yeah, I really wanted sort of like an L-shaped sort of piece, and I really wanted it facing outwards. I did play test this and it didn't work, so I've had to come back in and rearrange. So hopefully that should now all work properly for you. But let's jump over to the kitchen diner in here. So we've got a big 6-seater table in there. This also has a back door onto the back porch garden area. I literally place in I think it's 3-seater table and also barbecue out there. There really wasn't much space for anything else. I did think about maybe putting in some like plants or some like gardening or something, but it was undercover and I didn't think that it would really be used. To be honest, I don't think you would really use it as it is. I just needed to put something down there so that it was not empty space into there. But now this is the kitchen. This kitchen is actually quite large, especially for a family of 4. I feel like I maybe overcompensated when I came to this kitchen and made it a little bit bigger than what I could have done, and I maybe should have made some more sort of living space or something like that. But anyway, I have now jumped through and cut out all of the scrolling for you so that you can go straight in here to watching me place lots of clutter in the kitchen as per usual. I don't tend to show you any of the scrolling because yawn, it is boring. I pull out the same items usually over and over again, and yeah, no one ever likes that. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. Mainly it's from the new pack. Parenthood I use quite a bit of, and then also the kitchen clutter kit, which if you all have been watching for a while, you know that is one of my favourite pack kits into here, and there is a lot of it in here. Now to make this feel a little bit smaller, I have got the island from that pack, so we have managed to do that as well. And yeah, I feel like the kitchen now doesn't feel quite so big as to when we started with this. In there, I have purposely left a few counters completely empty. I think there's 3 in this build, in this kitchen, so you have plenty of room to cook and prepare food into there. Now these blinds, they jumped quite a few times, so they might not be exactly in the right place. Every time I came back into the game, they had deleted themselves. So yeah, that's fun. But now we're into the parents' bedroom. Now this again is another huge room. I don't really know why, but yeah, I managed to get in quite a lot in this bedroom, and still have quite a lot of space to spare. So yeah, I'm happy with it, and this is the only new bed that I think I will probably ever use. It's semi-okay. It's one of those items where I'm like, why did we get this? It doesn't really make too much sense, but hey, it is here. And yeah, using it with the high school, actually a lot of the high school stuff came into this bedroom in here, and also a separate sort of TV space for them, just because I thought like the other room was very kind of kid focused and very kind of busy with kids activities and things like that, and maybe at the end of the day, if the parents wanted to watch their own sort of show or something and they didn't want me in the living room because I don't know, one of them is watching their cartoons or something, they can just come into here and have their own private space to do whatever in there and watch their shows. I thought that was a really nice space, and also it filled in that little nook, which is perfect into there. And now we get a dresser over and by the front window, and also a desk in here. Now this was a last minute add-on. We didn't have a separate space for these, and I did think about putting it upstairs in the hallway, but I thought it just didn't feel right, so I thought, well, let's shove it in the parents' bedroom. As I said, there was lots of space, so why not get it in there, and lots of sort of desk clutter coming in, a lamps and books and things like that, and then also over here onto the dresser. Now normally I don't tend to clutter too much of this area, but I felt like with this build, this room felt so empty, it just needed some personality coming to it. I don't particularly like beige lots, they feel very empty and very just cold, so I tend to over clutter them a little bit more. But I felt like as this is a nice family home, it's very lived in as a result, so that's what we did in here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. and now we are going to jump upstairs to this space. Now this is what I'm calling the workout room. So I really wanted this to feel like it was like a hobby room. It was something that the parents can kind of enjoy, but it's also like hallway space. So the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom all come off this up here, so maybe after a workout or something you can jump in the shower up here. There is a shower upstairs, and then there is a bath down in the ensuite. So obviously with the toddler you would need to give them a bath into there as well. But yeah, a few motivational posters on the wall, and then I also get in a treadmill as well. Now we're going to jump over into the kids' bedroom. I end up going with a kind of different colour pattern than what I would normally kind of want in here. You can see I'm pulling out different wallpaper. I really don't know what I really want this room to kind of look like, and sort of the personality of this sort of child in here. But in the end we go with I think this triangle piece, which has all of the blues, a little bit of purple and grey coming in. And yeah, I go round and round trying to work this out, because I feel like this is just a kind of a bland. I have a family on the lot, and I have a family I create for. I didn't create them, they're just off the gallery, so I not really played with them at all. I just picked a family of 4 in there and decided to build for them. So we kind of went with soft blues, but also some little different pops of sort of colour coming through. And I feel like these are hot air balloons on the bedside table, the dresser, and even the desk that we get in here, all from the high school again. So very much a high school kind of build into there, but general kind of kids clutter into there. So I wanted this kit to be quite crafty in the terms of, we got the new paper craft skill, and yeah, I just thought it would be very sort of a nice activity for them to do. So I have placed a few of the items, like debug versions of them, around this room as well. And we've also got the paper mache kind of wall art thing downstairs. I've also placed another one in here, and then some just like craft debug items, sort of, or not debug, but just random sort of clutter items in here. And then I've gone for the star kind of curtains, just because I thought it was a really nice sort of contrast. Lots of shapes, lots of different sort of in here. You've got squiggles on the chairs, you've got dots, you've got triangles, stars, why not into there. And I've also placed over a couple of toys, so she's got a big stuffed toy teddy bear, and then also the sort of painting crafting station here as well. But now we're going to jump into the last bedroom. Now this is the toddler room. You might have noticed when I was scrolling through all of the wallpaper, I stopped on this one and I was like, oh, should I really, do I? And I thought it would work perfectly in the nursery as a really kind of like neutral kind of feature wall in here. Now for some weird reason, Pinterest has been throwing up loads of kind of bedroom ideas, children's bedrooms, parents' bedrooms, anyway, loads of bedrooms. And I've seen a lot of sort of feature walls in bedrooms, and I feel like it's something I occasionally do, but I feel like with this build I've done it quite a lot, feature walls in the hallway, in the kids' room, and now in the toddler room. So yeah, I kind of made a point of it. In here we've got this gorgeous little toddler bed in here, and I do place this rocking chair more as like a nursing kind of chair, or as like to help them get to sleep, that sort of thing. Now this actually has the high chair up here. I tend to place it in the kids' room, so that, or in the nursery, so that if you don't have a child like of this age yet, you can just kind of forget about it and leave it in this room rather than having another one downstairs. That's my point anyway. But anyway, we are quickly coming up to the end of this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please give this a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel. This build is up on the gallery right now, so check that out too. But for now, I'll leave you with the screenshots. Until next time, bye everyone!